Listen, hello, how you doing? I'm just getting out of the office. Very, very long day today. I just wanted to come to my clients and come to my people out there with credit. I'm trying to teach everybody the credit game and how it works, because you want to eventually use your credit as leverage. Because if you don't have your credit as leverage, you're living off cash, which is impossible to do. It's set up that way. It's set up not to live off cash. It's done. If you look in the average person's purse or wallet, they don't have cash. You have plastic. You have a debit card now. You don't have cash like our grandparents used to have. Get that out your system. You're being tracked. Every purchase you make, everything you buy, every place you go, where you shop is being tracked. It's easy. Your bank is tracking it. They're selling it. It's just a whole thing now. It's a whole business now. So get that out your system about trying to live off cash. You need to learn the credit game. I had like 8 calls today about clients calling me about their credit scores being low, and they pay their bills on time, their credit cards on time, their card notes on time, but yet still their credit score is still low, and it's because they don't know the credit game. Let me explain something to you. There are 5 factors that make up your credit score. 5. 35% of your score is basically your credit utilization. There's 5 things. 1 is length of credit. 1 is credit utilization. 1 is mixed of credit. 1 is inquiries, and all those break down as a percentage. So, and if you're only doing 1 or 2 of those, you're still failing. So it is what it is. You're still failing. So if you pay your bills on time, which is payment history, is 35% of your score is per payment history, and you're paying your bills on time. So if you took a test and you were asked 100 questions and you only got 35% of those questions right, which is 35 of them, you still failed the test. So you can pay your bills on time till you blue in the face. Go right ahead. Your scores are still going to be low, you're still going to have issues, and you're not learning the credit game. So that's only one piece. 35% of your score is how you pay your bills, if you pay them on time or not. That's 35% of it. 30% of it is how you use your credit, utilization. So that's how, if you want to stay under 30% of your credit card balances. Let's say your credit card balances, you have a $1,000 credit limit, you want to be under 30%. Or at least pay it off before the bill statement hits, so it won't reflect on your credit report. So you want to stay under, that's the number we say is 30%. That's 30% of your score. Even those 2 alone, you got 35 and 30, that's still 65% of your score. You still failed the test. Almost passed, but you still at the low end with a D so far, or D, a high F or low D. So you still failed just with those 2 factors. So you need to learn the whole credit game. So we went over it. 35% of your score is how you pay your bills. 30% of the score is credit utilization, how you use your credit. 15% of the score is how long you've had credit. It's length of credit, age, how long you've had it. That's 15% of your score. So stop closing old accounts that are in good standing. Stop having a Capital One credit card, let's say, and you had it for 4 years, and you pay it off because your taxes, you got your taxes, and then you call them and say you don't want to get in debt anymore, and you cancel it, and you want to call me and tell me why your credit score has went down. That's why. Because 15% of your score is your length of credit. You just stopped 4 years worth of history if you close that account. It's no longer age. Pay it off, shut it down, and don't use it. And keep the history so your scores don't drop. That's 15% of your score. 10% of your score is mixture of credit. So if you only have, let's say, 1 credit card on your credit report, that's not mixing. That's just 1. Let's say you have 2. You have different types of credit. You have revolving, you have installment, you have mortgage, you have student loans, you have different forms of credit. So mixture of credit will dictate your score. It's 10% of your score, how you pay different forms of bills. So if you had, basically an installment loan is basically a set amount of payment for a set amount of time, like a car loan. You pay $500 a month for 5 years. That's a set payment that doesn't change for a certain term for 5 years. And that's an installment loan. Revolving, if you have a credit card, you have no balance on it, you don't have a payment. But you go out and buy $100, you may have a $20 payment. So it changes, and that payment changes based on the balance on the card. That's a revolving. It revolves, it moves. So if you have revolving, you have installment, you have a mortgage, you have a student loan, your chances of having better forms of credit is there because you have different mixtures of credit, and that's 10% of your score. Whether you pay your bills on time or not, 10% of your score. The last piece of the scoring model is basically inquiries. Inquiries are 10% of your score. Every time you apply for something, every time you seek credit, every time you try to get a car loan and they shotgun your credit all over town, that's 10% of your score. Anytime you're trying to gain something financially, that is an inquiry. That's all, what we call a hard pull, when they pull your credit. We're not going to go into soft pulls, but there's a hard pull that affects you, and they affect your score for a year, but they stay on your credit for 2 years. So those are the things that affect your score. 35% of it is basically how you pay your bills. 30% of it is how you use your credit or utilization. 15% of it is basically the length of credit, how long you've had it. 10% is mixtures of credit, different forms of credit, and another 10% is your inquiries. That's a total of 100%. So if you learn that credit game, you can perfect and get those scores that you need. So when you're trying to purchase a car, a credit card, a house, or even rent something now, DirecTV is pulling credit now. Cox Cable, all these they are pulling credit now. Autos insurances, they dictate your premium based on your credit. I have a gentleman right now that called me up that has a wife that lives in one state, and she passed away, and he lives here, and his wife passed away, God forbid, but he had to go get his child. His child could not leave the state that his wife was in. So he said he would just bring his child here. They said, no, your child can't leave the state. Well, I lost my wife. Doesn't matter. She can't leave the state until we clear from your divorce. Okay. So I'll transfer. Guy works in the law enforcement. I'll transfer to that state. He called it when they put in for his transfer. They told him you need to be above 640 to transfer. They denied his transfer. Even they know what he was transferring for. Good friends of his he worked with every day. Told him, I'm sorry, it's our policy. You cannot transfer. Because when he got the job, his scores were good. Now he's trying to transfer. His scores are not good. So they said, you can't even transfer. So this gentleman called me and said he needed credit repair, not to get credit card, not to get a home loan, not to get a car loan, but to go get his child. His child ended up in foster care for almost 2 months till we got his credit where it needed to be so he can transfer and he can be with his child who just lost their mom. It's really sad, guys. I'm really trying to tell you, learn the credit game before it teaches you. Trust me, before it teaches you. You don't want to be out there buying cars, buying homes, applying for credit, and you don't meet their expectations. Learn the game. Learn to leverage your credit. Your credit, once it's leveraged properly, is a beautiful thing. Trust me, I do it all the time. Those out there who know me, I leverage my credit very well because I have amazing scores, but I didn't always have that. I had a 400 credit score. I had to file bankruptcy. I had car loans repossessed. I've had that. But not anymore. I have over 800 credit score right now. So, but I'm leveraging my credit. I'm leveraging my credit. And I want to show everybody out there how to leverage your credit. Do it yourself if you can't do it. If you're not, hire us. We'll do it for you. We'll do it for you. I'll give you a deal. But today's really frustrated me. I just want to put that out there on my way home. From the office today. I had a long day. And I got so many calls about that, about people paying their bills on time and they're having issues still with their credit. So there's more to it than that. It's not taught in any school. It's not taught in any college. It's not taught on any local university. It's not taught because they don't want you to know. Learn the credit game. Thank you. My name is Eddie. I'm CEO and founder of Easy Does It Credit Repair. Give me a call. I will help you. I'll answer your questions. My number is 877-413-3829. Give me a call. I'll answer your questions. Even if you don't want the service, I'll answer your questions about your credit. We offer free consultations. All right, give me a call. Hope you guys have a great day. Sorry for ranting and raving on the phone, but today was a really frustrating day. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.